So my dear student, so in the today class I am going to solve the problem on helical spring. So on the screen you can see the question. A helical spring is made from a wire of 6 millimeter diameter. Okay, so this is the diameter of the wire. It will be denoted with small d, that is given as 6 millimeter. So if you want to know how the shape of the helical spring and also what are the different parameters, that I will explain you. In the initially you should know this terminology. Okay, so let us say this is an helical spring. So this will be called as the diameter of the wire. So this diameter we call as small d. So that is given as 6 millimeter and has outside diameter of 75 mm. So here one will be called as mean diameter and another it will be outside diameter. So if you measure the spring from the outside, that we call as outside diameter of the coil, and if you measure inside the spring, then that we call as the mean diameter of the coil or inner diameter of the coil also we can say. But in the question they have given outside diameter is 75 millimeter. It means D naught they have mentioned 75 millimeter. If the permissible shear stress is given as 350 megapascal, so shear stress that will be denoted by tau, it is given as 350 megapascal, where 1 megapascal it will be is equal to 1 Newton per millimeter square. So we are converting in terms of millimeter because some of the other parameters are given in the form of millimeter. If they are given in the form of meter, then you need to convert the stress in the form of Newton meter square. So any one standard format you need to follow. And they have given modulus of rigidity. So modulus of rigidity we will be denoted with G, then that value is given as 84 kilo Newton. So kilo you have to convert first, that is 10 power of 3 Newton per millimeter square. So that is already in the standard format. Okay, it is already in the standard unit. And also you need to find the axial load. So here some of the axial load are applied to the spring element. So these are the axial load. Okay, so let us we assume the axial load is an static axial load. That load you need to find out, which the spring can carry, and also the deflection per active turn. Okay, so deflection it will be denoted by delta, and the active turns means number of turns it is having. Okay, so this will be called 1 turn, 2nd turn, 3rd turn, like that number of turns it will be denoted by small n. Okay, 1, 2 like that. So deflection per active turn means delta by n you need to find out. Okay, so as the theory it says that when the axial load is applied, so the spring it may affect with the curvature. Sometimes when the axial load is applied, so the spring can get the bending. So when the bending it happens means the curvature, so this whatever the curvature it will be getting. So sometimes we can consider the curvature of the spring and sometimes we can neglect the curvature of the spring. So in the question it is not mentioned anywhere whether to consider or to not to consider. So now we will solve by taking both the methods. First I will say neglecting the effect of curvature. Okay, so without the curvature we will solve this problem. After that we will consider the curvature of the coil. Okay, so by neglecting the effect of curvature, how to solve this problem? So first you need to calculate the axial load and also deflection per active turns. So here you should know the two equation or the two derivation where we have derived in the classes. First thing, how to calculate the shear stress, that is the maximum shear stress induced in the wire. So in the material there will be some shear stress, it will be developed internally, it will be developed. So that will be denoted by tau. Okay, so what is the equation for shear stress? You can refer the data handbook where you will also get it, and also you can remember the shear stress equation. So that is K suffix S into 8W d by pi d cube. So this is the equation for maximum shear stress induced in the wire material. Okay, now I will explain all the terms are used here. So where tau, as you know, it is the shear stress, maximum shear stress, and K suffix S. So this is the shear stress factor, right? Shear stress factor. So from the data handbook, there are two equations are given for K, one by considering the curvature and another by neglecting the curvature. So by considering the curvature, we have to consider the Wahl's factor. Okay, when you will consider, but in this case we are not considering, we are neglecting, means Wahl's factor equation you should not use. Okay, so now I will tell you what is the equation for K suffix S. Okay, and W is the axial load and D is the diameter, means mean diameter, not the outside diameter. So first you need to calculate what is a D here, and also pi d cube, anyhow small d that indicates the diameter of the wire. So what is a D, mean diameter? How to calculate mean diameter? Now you need to calculate the mean diameter, inner diameter. First the equation for outer diameter. So outer diameter is equal to what? The inner diameter plus the diameter of the wire. Then you will get the outside diameter. So D plus a small d you can write. So now we can take another steps here, where if you want to calculate the mean diameter, it is D naught minus small d, you can make modification. So D naught value it is given as 75 minus small d is given as 60. Okay, so 75 minus 6, it will be 69. Okay, so 69 is the your it will be 69 is the mean diameter of the coil. Okay, so after that we will go for calculating the shear stress. Okay, so first the shear stress is given as 350 from this equation is equal to K suffix S. So K suffix X for neglecting the curvature of the wire, that equation is 1 plus 1 by 2c. This equation you can get it from your data handbook. 8 and W is the load you want to be calculate. Now outside diameter is given as 69, okay, by pi d cube is 6 power of 3. So here C it is given. So what is mean by C? So where again you need to calculate the value of C also, where C we call it is as spring index. It is the ratio of mean diameter by the diameter of the wire. Okay, what is the mean diameter now? 69 by mean diameter by diameter of the wire. So you got 11.5. Okay, so 11.5 is the C value. So here you can write 11.5. So again I have to take one more steps here. So 1 plus 1 by 2c is 11.5. Close the bracket. 8w into 69 by pi d cube, d power of 6 power of 3, then you will get 216. Now we'll have the only one unknown equation, that is w. Okay, so first we'll calculate the k also. 1 by 2 into 11.5 plus 1. So you got 1.043 into this entire, if you make multiplication, or 8w, we'll take one more steps, 69 by pi into 216, then 350 will be here. So if I take w separate, then it will be 350 into pi 216 divided by 8 into 69 into 1.043. So you will get the W value. So where W is the load, axial load, we got 412.5. So load, it will be measured in Newton. So the first we obtained load, axial load we have calculated. Similarly, we can calculate the deflection per active ton. So before calculating the deflection per active ton, you have to calculate what is the deflection equation. So for the deflection equation, I will write here where delta is equal to, it is 8w d cube n by g d power of 4. This is the deflection equation. Okay, so this will be same for both by considering the curvature or by neglecting the curvature. There will be no changes in the shear stress equation or as well as the delta equation. Only the value of k, it will be changes. Okay, so in the k, Wahl's factor will be taken, and here the Ks means shear stress factor, that is 1 plus 1 by 2c will be taken. That is the difference. Okay, so now here small n you can observe. So now we can modify that equation where delta by n is equal to 8w d cube by pi d power of 4. Or also you can make the modification where d by 4, that is equal to what? C. So you can write C. So here you can write C by D also. Okay, because D cube, it will be C cube by D. That also you can make. Okay, now you can directly substitute and you will get the delta by n. Let us see what the value you will get. 8 into W is 412.5 into D cube. Value of D is, we have calculated, 69 power of 3 by pi D cube. Again D value is 6, D value, D power of 4. there is 412 into d value 69 power of 3 by shift pi into d value is 6 power of 4. So we are getting higher value, so that is okay. So it should be g here. I have taken pi, but it should be g value. That's what I am getting higher value. Okay, now we'll check again. 8 into w is 412.5 and d value is 69 power of 3 by g value is the modulus of rigidity, that is 84 into 10 power of 3 into 6 power of 4. Okay, so 9.95. This is 9.95. Okay, so number of deflection per active turns, means this is the deflection where each turn it will take the deflection of 9.95 millimeter, you can write. Okay, so this is the one way where we can solve the problems by neglecting the curvature. Okay, similarly you can calculate by considering second step. You can go for second step now. So second you can write by considering the curvature, effect of curvature, you can write. Okay, so again the equation only I will change here, where tau is equal to, it is k into AW d, okay, by pi d cube. So this is the equation for maximum shear stress, but the value of k, that is shear stress factor, where that is equal to 4c minus 1 by 4c minus 4 plus 0.615 by c. Though this is the Wahl's shear stress factor, as I told you before, Wahl's shear stress factor. So this equation you have to use to substitute in the equation. Otherwise everything will be same as the procedure which you followed in the previous. Only the value of k it will be changed, right? So we'll check now, or you can calculate. Okay, so this is by considering the curvature. So thank you everyone who are watching my video.